Yo, what up? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another video. So before we get started, you already know, please do me a favor, go to Blacklight Revelations 1 and Blacklight Revelations 2. Please smash the like buttons on all of those videos, hit the bell icon for notification, and go to the About page and hit us up on all of our other social media. All right, we appreciate your support and we appreciate your engagement. Help us get to that 1,000. We are almost there. We've had a huge surge in the amount of subscriptions, so please help us reach that goal. All right, so we're gonna get started with this, and I'd like to bring it back to what I was talking about yesterday. We were talking about Joe Biden, and one of the things that Joe Biden revealed was that he does not support defund the police. He actually supports funding the police. So everybody who voted for him for talking points instead of based on past experience is going to get past experience instead of talking points. He's not going to defund the police. All right. And as a matter of fact, he's going to actually provide increased police funding. And I'm going to show you exactly how I know this. Now, another thing is that Joe Biden is a racist. We've proved this more than once. The way that Joe Biden wants to provide funding to the police is very detrimental. It's very dangerous, because the thing is that these police organizations who are so worried about police violence, they fail to tell people exactly why people get away with killing. When it comes to the police force, there is a license to kill, and this license to kill is based on pseudoscience. It's a diagnosis called excitable delirium. Now, we'll go over a couple things in regards to excitable delirium. How does this tie into Joe Biden and his funding the police? Well, one of the things that Joe Biden wants to fund the police for is to put psychiatrists on the police force. He wants field psychiatrists to go in a restaurant with police officers to be able to provide, quote, psychiatric diagnoses. Well, there's only one psychiatric diagnosis that police officers frequently quote, and that diagnosis is used in every single black person that they kill, and it's called excitable delirium. Now, I'm going to bring up a report from the FBI's website, all right? And this report is titled Excited Delirium and the Dual Response: Preventing in-custody deaths. This is such a problem, they had to create a study on how to prevent deaths. All right. Now remember, this is based on pseudoscience. All right. This isn't verified. All right. See, we go to Wikipedia, and it says it's a controversial syndrome diagnosed as a combination of psychomotor agitation, delirium, and sweating. It may include attempts at violence, unexpected strength, and a very high temperature. Complications may include rhabdomyolysis or high blood potassium. All right. Now, here it says excited delirium is not recognized by the World Health Organization, the American Psychiatric Association, or the American Medical Association, and therefore is not listed as a medical condition in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual Mental Disorders. So Joe Biden is going to put all of this money into psychiatrists to put them out on the field with the police officer to allow the psychiatrist to provide diagnosis of excitable delirium to black suspects, or any suspects for that matter. And that's a license to kill, because there's an issue with excited delirium. One of the issues with excited delirium is that it randomly culminates in death. All right. See, here it says the UK Independent Advisory Panel on Deaths in Custody suggests that the syndrome should be termed sudden death in restraint syndrome. All right. Sudden death, like a bullet to the head, in order to enhance clarity. Examples of deaths due to the condition are found primarily in restraint or unattempted restraint situations, where medical preconditions and symptoms attributed to the syndrome and are far more varied. All right. So this is interesting, right? Now see, check this out. I'm going to show you a lot of stuff here. Treatment initially may include ketamine. All right, treatment may include ketamine or midazolam, and I believe midazolam is called Versed. All right, and haloperidol, which is also known as Haldol, injected into the muscle to sedate the person. Now, we're gonna concentrate on ketamine because now this is where the psychiatrists and the EMTs get weaponized. All right. So now we're gonna go to this other page, and in this other page we talk about a young man named Elijah McClain. All right. I've done videos on Elijah McClain, but for some reason I called into someone's beam on Periscope, and when I was explaining this situation, I was looked at, and people in the comments were addressing me as if I was telling a Disney Cinderella story. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't like how it sounded, it didn't happen. Well, I don't give a shit what you don't like. It happened. Here it is right here. You know what I'm saying? This young kid, 23 years old. I know it ain't your kid. Doesn't look like your kid, so you probably don't give a fuck. But it actually happened. You know what I'm saying? This kid does kind of look like my kid, so you know what I'm saying? Like, I do give a fuck. I'm sorry that you don't have the capacity to be able to not give a shit about people that don't look like you, but everyone is not like that. Some of us actually care about everybody. You know what I'm saying? So here it says, in August, there was a 23-year-old African-American massage therapist from Aurora, Colorado, who died after being placed in a chokehold by police and being sedated by paramedics. All right. So the paramedics sedated this kid who wasn't even resisting. You know, the R word, resisting. He wasn't doing that. All right. So here it says, Aurora citizen reported to police that McClain was wearing a ski mask. So this kid died for wearing a ski mask, and now we have to wear masks everywhere we go. How you like that? This kid died for nothing. How do you think his parents feel? How do you think his mom feels? You think she's happy when she goes up to his room? She probably hasn't even taken his bed sheets down, or probably hasn't removed the wallpaper. You know what I'm saying? So this kid's life was only worth a ski mask, and because he happened to look sketchy. You know, you got the license to kill a nigga in the United States because they look sketchy and they wear a ski mask. That's nice. And Joe Biden is going to fund this by putting psychiatrists on the police force to write the orders for this. So if COVID ain't killing us fast enough, we can just say that we all got excitable delirium and look sketchy. And there goes our life. You know what I'm saying? There goes my two kids' dad. Who cares, right? I had a speeding ticket in 1999, so I deserve to die. You know what I'm saying? So here it says, although the caller indicated that he did not believe anyone was in danger. So the caller didn't even believe anyone was in danger. So what the fuck did he call for then? Nobody ever asked that question, right? And that he believed McClain was unarmed. So he believed that no one was in danger, and he believed that McClain was unarmed. Why was he calling again? Because he was wearing a mask. Nowadays, we have to wear masks. Nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? The three police officers who were involved in the incident, Nathan Woodard, Jason Rosenblatt, and Randy Rodizma, said the body cameras were knocked off during the struggle with McClain. Now look at this little skinny kid right here. Look at this kid. Look at this kid. 3 grown-ass men. And you mean to tell me that he knocked off all 3 kids? Was this motherfucker like in the Justice League or some shit? Is this like the alternate universe Spider-Man? He does look like the alternate universe Spider-Man that Marvel's been running. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is this motherfucker some kind of undercover superhero or some shit? Look how skinny this kid is. You mean to tell me that 3 trained police officers, he was able to do some Bruce Lee shit and knock the body camera off? You don't believe that. But a lot of motherfuckers believe some crazy, insane shit that comes from a 4chan board, but you don't believe that. You don't believe this. Right. All right. So here it says McClain was forcibly held to the ground with his hands cuffed behind his back, after which an officer applied a chokehold and paramedics administered ketamine to sedate him. While being transported to the hospital, McClain went into cardiac arrest. So at 23 years old, you know what I'm saying, in a chokehold, in an unfamiliar environment, in the back of a hospital transport vehicle, this kid didn't get to live the rest of his life, and nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody just wants a handout. His family wants justice for this. It's just a handout. You know what I'm saying? Is there gonna be justice for everybody where everybody didn't lose their fucking kid? You know what I'm saying? Those kind of questions are only asked when it's something that affects them. You know what I'm saying? 3 days after arriving at the hospital, he was declared brain dead, and he was removed from life support on August 30th. McClain's autopsy was inconclusive. No, McClain's autopsy was very conclusive. He went into cardiac arrest because of the cardiac consequences of using ketamine without weighing someone. And this kid was, look at him, he's skinny, so he didn't have much meat on his bones. So they probably used too much ketamine and it sent him into cardiac arrest. But because he had a diagnosis of excitable delirium, Ben Shapiro gets to talk extremely fast about it on the news. You know what I'm saying? The whole entire United States gets to talk about this kid and they don't know shit about him. And his parents are minus a child. You know what I'm saying? And nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? And Black Lives Matter don't do shit because it's a boy. You know what I'm saying? Who cares, right? 3 days after arriving at the hospital, he was declared brain dead, and he was removed from life support on August 30th. McClain's autopsy was inconclusive. On July 24th, 2020, after a social media outcry and Aurora's lawmakers' request for a new third-party investigation on McClain's death, Colorado Governor Jared Polis announced his administration would re-examine the case. Well, that's nice of you. That's nice of you. You know what I'm saying? Fucking idiot. It would have been nice if they had to re-examine the situation and saw that the 911 call was unjustified and just left the kid the fuck alone. But instead, they got to kill him and get away with it. I want to know. I know there's a lot of people that are in those fraternal order of police organizations and all that little stuff. Is part of the initiation process to kill a black dude? Like, do you have to have killing a nigga as part of your initiation? Like, seriously, like, let me know. Don't be scared. You ain't gonna go to jail. You probably just get paid retirement. Just answer the question. You know what I'm saying? So here it says, at the time of his death, Elijah McClain had been a massage therapist for about 4 years. He shared an apartment with his cousin close to the site where he was taken into police custody and consequently died. He had never been arrested or charged with a crime. So what do y'all say about that? What do y'all say about that? Honestly, when it comes to the police, I think the police are the din-dos, because, they always are killing somebody that didn't do nothing. How about that? You know what I'm saying? How about them apples? Now here it says, friends and family describe him as a spiritual seeker. Yeah, and the police helped him seek his spirit that night. You know what I'm saying? A pacifist, oddball, vegetarian, an athlete, and a peacemaker who was exceedingly gentle. Now, mind you, they said that he's exceedingly gentle. And then somehow he turned from Bruce Banner into the Incredible Hulk, single-handedly defended himself against 3 police officers and was able to knock off their body camera. And nobody sees anything wrong with that or that possibly not being true. But people literally believe random shit that motherfuckers put on an 8chan board. This is what we deal with in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Fucking clueless. Clueless, silver spoon-fed, self-entitled pieces of shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, here it says McClain's mother, God forbid, why should she care, right? Moved her family of 6 from Denver to Aurora to avoid gang violence. And then her son ended up getting killed by the biggest gang in the United States. He ended up dying a death to the biggest, most corrupt gang in the United States, the police. You know what I'm saying? Thinking it would be safer in Aurora. She said that Elijah was homeschooled and that she could see at an early age he was intellectually gifted. Well, not anymore. Not anymore, because the gang made him brain dead. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. The gang turned your intellectually gifted child brain dead. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I should shut up. I shouldn't talk about it, right? Because it upsets people. How you think his mom feels every time she realizes that she outlived her child? You know what I'm saying? Who cares, right? Just shut up about it. Who cares? Nobody wants to hear this shit all the time. Shut up about it, right? So here it says, while still a teenager, he taught himself to play violin and guitar. So this kid was clearly gifted. You know what I'm saying? During lunch breaks, he bought his instruments to animal shelters and played for the abandoned animals. I mean, damn. You know what I'm saying? Did this kid do anything wrong besides like trust the police to protect his life instead of take it? Believing that the music put them at ease. Friends said that his gentleness with animals extended to humans as well. One of his clients recalled him as the sweetest, purest person that he had ever met. He was definitely a light in a whole lot of darkness. You know, the police sent him to see the light. Those guys that are supposed to protect us, they sent him to see it. They sent him to see the light. You know what I'm saying? Now here on the death part, you know what I'm saying? On the evening of August 24th, 2019, an Aurora citizen called 911 after seeing McClain walking down the street and wearing a ski mask. So he was walking while black, you know what I'm saying, in Colorado, you know what I'm saying? And apparently that comes with a death sentence, you know what I'm saying? Good old residents of Colorado, you know what I'm saying? Never seen a black person before, you know what I'm saying? Seen this kid walking down the street wearing a ski mask. Now, even in the call, they said that they didn't think that anyone was in danger. The only reason why they called was because he was wearing a ski mask, and they said that he looked sketchy. Well, by you saying that somebody looks sketchy, you just gave him a death sentence. And this motherfucker gets to go ahead on about their life like nothing happened. But then if I talk about this, because it's irritating, because this could possibly be my kid, because my kid kind of looks like this, and my kid is a nice, gentle kid, and my kid wouldn't hurt a fly, just like this kid. But because some crazy, paranoid, self-entitled piece of shit is not socially integrated with society, and they're scared because they see somebody different walking down the street and call the cops and get my kid killed, just like this kid was. But I'm not supposed to talk about that. I'm not supposed to say shit about that. And then when you go and talk to a president about it and tell him, yo, I got concerns about this, this motherfucker says, you know what? I'm gonna just pour fuel on the fire by putting the very people on the police force that can write the licenses to kill. You know what I'm saying? It's unreal, man. So, yeah, a lot of stuff in this story doesn't make sense. So it looks like there's a audio recording of the 911 call that was made on McClain and police body camera footage of McClain being apprehended. So let's watch this real quick. Let's see. Let me see. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on. In this. Oh, look at that. Look, they took it down. Why they take it down? See that? External video, audio recording of the 911 call made on McClain by police body camera footage of McClain being apprehended. So now we're gonna open the link. Yeah, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Wow. Yeah, I bet you that's what they said that night when they offed his ass. Something went wrong. Unreal. So now the police lied and said that he reached and grabbed for the gun, and you know the usual people are running around crying, you know what I'm saying that he was resisting, and then all of a sudden the body camera footage disappeared. Interesting, right? Because this little skinny neck, barely this kid doesn't even look like he went through puberty yet, was able to just muscle down those police officers, and somehow he knew exactly where the body camera was and knocked the body camera off. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we believe in the United States, because we're too naive and too entitled and too selfish and too narcissistic and too unempathetic, you know what I'm saying, to believe that there could possibly be problems in society that don't touch other communities. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back to this FBI report. When I think about Elijah McClain, that story makes me sick to my stomach, and I don't give a shit who gets upset. You know what I'm saying? So here it says, excited delirium syndrome is a serious and potentially deadly medical condition involving psychotic behavior, elevated temperature, and an extreme fight or flight response by the nervous system. Now, here's the thing. if you go to my Black Light Revelations 1 playlist, there's a playlist for Elijah McClain. And on Elijah McClain, there's a podcast where the police report is being read. And in the police report, it says that he's not struggling. So fight or flight response basically means that there's adrenaline, norepinephrine, and epinephrine that go to your body when you are trying to either fight or you're trying to escape. And he wasn't doing either one. So this is why this diagnosis is pseudoscience. Okay. And also you have police diagnosing. Police don't have diagnostic authorities. Only doctors and certain healthcare professionals that work under doctors can do this. So what are they doing? Why is a doctor saying that this person has? That's like a doctor saying, well, he has AIDS. You know what I'm saying? Give him some HIV medication. This kid has a psychiatric diagnosis. Give him some ketamine. Police officers can't do that. They don't have any medical training. You know what I'm saying? The only thing they have training to do is arrest people and kill them. They don't have medical training. You know what I'm saying? They didn't take biology. They didn't take pharmacology. They didn't take pathophysiology. They didn't take any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They taught, you know what I'm saying, how to put holes in shit in target practice. You know what I'm saying? And use a baton. That's what the police know how to do. You know what I'm saying? And drive a car. You know what I'm saying? So here it says failure to recognize the symptoms and involve emergency medical services to provide appropriate medical treatment may lead to death. Fatality rates of up to 10% in excited delirium cases have been reported. In addition to the significant morbidity and mortality associated with unrecognized excited delirium syndrome, a substantial risk for litigation exists. No, it doesn't. A substantial risk for litigation never exists. It's more likely that a riot will break out because of, you know what I'm saying, like left-wing extreme gangs like Antifa and Black Lives Matter, who will weaponize this situation despite the fact of being completely insensitive to this kid's family and the fact that they love exploiting dead black bodies. You know what I'm saying? That's more of a risk and a community confrontation than a litigation, because these guys literally get like notches on the belt and paid vacation for doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So litigation is not a substantial risk. Okay. I can come up with lists of people who got paid vacation for putting a black person's brains outside of their head. So please spare me with this bullshit. All right. So here it says these patients often die within 1 hour of police involvement. Of course they do. One study showed 75% of deaths from excited delirium occurred at the scene or during transport. That's what happened to Elijah McClain died at the hospital, I believe. He died at the hospital. All right. So here it says law enforcement organizations should take steps to increase their officer awareness of excited delirium and its symptoms and develop procedures to engage the medical community when identified. Now, do you see this portion right here? This FBI directive, law enforcement organizations should take steps to increase officer awareness of excited delirium and its symptoms and develop procedures to engage the medical community when identified. So now when we go here, right, we're going to go to this article is from 8/5 of 2020. Biden says he supports additional funding for the police. So this additional funding is justified by this FBI report, according to Joe Biden. All right, so we're going to go to this Breitbart article real quick. In this Breitbart article, it says Joe Biden, police need psychiatrists on 911 calls. You see, this was directly related to a 911 call because somebody called 911 on Elijah McClain for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden wants to put badges on psychiatrists so they can write death licenses. You know what I'm saying? On 911 calls to keep them from having to use force. Yeah, all they got to do is just use chemicals now. You know what I'm saying? So here it says, former President Joe Biden said Tuesday evening during the first presidential debate that he has a vision of police showing up to 911 calls with psychologists and psychiatrists who can keep them from using force. So basically what this does is Joe Biden understands excitable delirium. If a psychiatrist comes to the scene, then the police are covered because then the psychiatrist can provide the diagnosis. The police don't have to guess anymore. Once the psychiatrist provides the diagnosis, then the police can dispatch the EMTs and they can kill everybody with ketamine, like they did Elijah McClain. So Joe Biden is actually writing death licenses. That's what he wants. You know what I'm saying? All right. And go watch my videos on excitable delirium to see exactly who it disproportionately affects. Guess who? Now everybody is so sick of hearing shit disproportionately affecting us, and stop fucking disproportionately affecting us. It's not that difficult. Don't do shit like this. You know what I'm saying? So here it says, you talked about reimagining police. Wallace said, what does reimagining police mean? And do you support Black Lives Matter call for community control of policing? See, this is ridiculous. Black Lives Matter is completely off base, and so are these people. You know what I'm saying? Police is already community policed. They just need to get more actual police officers from the community onto the force. All the police officers that patrol most of these cities don't even live in the city, so they're not invested. They don't care. They don't care if they kill, Mrs. Johnson's son. They go back to the suburbs, you know what I'm saying, and live their life and laugh about it over dinner. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna go to the graduation if a kid graduates. They probably gonna kill the kid before graduation. They don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So Black Lives Matter don't know what they're talking about. The Black Lives Matter is basically a hijacked version of the Black Panthers that's completely watered down and weaponized for private interest. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about none of this. You know what I'm saying? Which is why you never hear Black Lives Matter asking about excitable delirium, because it's excitable delirium that always leads to the deaths that Black Lives Matter gets off, that they get off on marching about. Because don't let them fool you. They enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Every single time a black person is dead, it's an excuse for them to get out and act the fool and get more publicity. They love it. And it's sick. You know what I'm saying? So here it says, what I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems that they face. And what Joe Biden is talking about here is he's talking about litigation. No more, no less. He's not talking about a difficult time on the job. He's not talking about guilt. He's not talking about anything else except for being able to kill and have less paperwork. That's what he's talking about. So once they dispatch these psychiatrists to the police force, they will be able to do that and more than likely be able to always write on the autopsy in the coroner's report, excitable delirium related death, and it'll eliminate any kind of internal affairs investigation. Police will be able to kill at will. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, they can do that anyway, but it'll just be even easier than it is now, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So here it says they need more assistance. Police need more assistance. I guess they need more than the EMTs coming with the poison. The guns and the tasers ain't enough. They need chemicals and shit. Next, we'll have nuclear warheads being delivered at the scene when a suspect is being apprehended. You know what I'm saying? They need, when they show up for a 911 call, to have someone with them as a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and to be able to talk people down. There's no talking when ketamine is involved. The police hold the person down and the EMTs inject ketamine based on the diagnosis that the psychiatrist gives. We have to have community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know people in the communities. That's why you hire people from the community to work in the police department. Stop getting people from outside. If you hire people from the community to be police in the community, it's literally the same thing as Trump's America First policy, but it's on a local level. You know what I'm saying? But they won't do that though, because they need to have someone who can funnel the money laundering, you know what I'm saying, that they extract from these communities. Because we all know why they had a certain police officers in these communities that they have. It's not because they care. It's not because they just want to do that much good. It's not because they worried about the people there. They put those police officers in those high crime areas so the police can get the drugs and get them back to the mafia so they can redistribute them into the street. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why people come from outside and go in. Why would you get a job in a high crime area knowing that the likelihood of you getting killed or getting an injury is high? If you're going to take a great risk, then you're going to take a great return. And that great return is what the police officers get when they launder that money and when they recycle those drugs and they push that shit through evidence. You know what I'm saying? So here it says, Wallace asked Biden, have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you've got to stop this. Bring in the National Guard. Do whatever it takes. Stop the days and months of violence. Excuse me. Biden responded, I don't hold public office now. I am a former vice president. Isn't Joe Biden amazing at getting out of questions? As Breitbart News reported in June, Biden's campaign was asked about radical protesters' demands for defunding the police, but the campaign declined to discuss the issue at this time. Reuters sought Biden's response on the issue of defunding the police, but reported a Biden campaign spokesperson declined to comment. All right, that's it. One thing I like about Breitbart, you know what I'm saying, they write some short articles. All right, so going back to this, these are a bunch of cases of excited delirium. All right, now trust me, these aren't the victims. These are all doctors. All right, so this goes into a deeper study. All right, and again, this is from the FBI website. All right, so here is a article from NewJersey.com, True Jersey. All right, here it says, excited delirium, a medical emergency or a unscientific excuse. Well, we all know it's an unscientific excuse. We already proved that using Wikipedia. See, this is what they do. They have a license to kill, and they don't like that people are getting hip to it. So we have to keep repeating the same question more than once to make it seem like we don't know the answer when the answer's already been, it's already been determined. The American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association don't recognize this as an actual diagnosis. That means it's pseudoscience. Kang shit. You know what I'm saying? Right? But the difference between Kang shit and Pilgrim shit is that Kang shit gets you laughed at. Pilgrim shit gets you killed. You know what I'm saying? This will get you killed because they actually use it, despite the fact that it's proven to be pseudoscience. There's only one major medical organization that recognizes this, and it's the Association of Emergency Room Doctors. American Medical Association and the American Psychological Association, who are the ones that assign the diagnosis, don't recognize this. So again, it's pseudoscience, it's theoretical science. Somehow in this America that's so great and is equal for everybody, pseudoscience can be used as a license to kill certain people. You know what I'm saying? But you can't even use pseudoscience in a situation where there's a worldwide pandemic. But you can use it to kill somebody though. You know what I'm saying? Somebody make sense of that shit for me. You know what I mean? So here's Joe Biden again with more hypocrisy. All right. He's gonna supposedly add psychiatrists to the police force. He should add a psychiatrist to his medical team so he can get some help. Because he's clearly delusional too, especially if he thinks he's a good dad. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you wouldn't catch this kid doing any of this shit that Hunter Biden was doing. But this kid is dead. You know what I'm saying? And Hunter Biden is getting Chinese money and foot jobs while smoking crack. How's that for some irony? So here it says most Democrats do not support defunding the police, but rather have advocated for reassessing police spending and steering law enforcement funds towards rebuilding minority communities. Biden on Wednesday said that in his first 100 days in office, he'd create a national police oversight commission with civil rights leaders, police officers, police chiefs, and other criminal justice experts to consider police reforms, including hiring, training, and de-escalation practices. Reforms mean at least the beginning, banning chokeholds, stopping transferring military weapons of war to police departments, creating the model use of force standard, and holding all police to a high standard, Biden said. Now, here's the thing that's crazy, right? Biden just said all of this, all right? If you look at all of these deaths, right? You look at all of these deaths that Black Lives Matter just falls out in the street and rejoices because a black body dropped and they get to act a fool. Military weapons of war weren't used to kill any of those people. Chokeholds, possibly. Not military weapons of war. Matter of fact, a lot of times the chokeholds, there have been some times when chokeholds have been identified as the cause of death, but most times it's not chokeholds. But Joe Biden says nothing about excitable delirium, and what he says is he wants to put psychiatrists on the police department so that they can further diagnose excitable delirium. Even give him a little diagnosis of excitable delirium because he's nuts. You know what I'm saying? You see how nothing they say makes any sense? None of these people are for you. You know what I'm saying? So here it says Kenwin Garcia was walking alongside Interstate 287 in Hanover Township. Charles Arroyo was choking his mother on her bed in Egg Harbor City. Mark Kelseski was standing near his burning car on the New Jersey Turnpike in Woodbridge. Each wound up dead after a fight with the police. Well, imagine that. Why am I so not surprised? You know what I'm saying? So here it says, a New Jersey advanced media analysis found that they were among 10 people during the past decade in New Jersey who authorities said died after a case of, here we go, excited delirium, a controversial medical syndrome usually cited after struggles with the police that results in heart or respiratory failure. Interesting, right? Some police experts, physicians, researchers, and medical examiners say the condition is real, and police officers are often wrongly accused of excessive force as a result of it. See? If we don't know if it's real, how can they be accused of anything based on it? I'm saying we don't know that it's real. So how do we know that the police even identified it? You know what I mean? If it's real, how do we know when it's not there when somebody says that it's there? I guarantee you everybody that the police killed, they say that they had excited delirium. And then it's all good. Then it's forgiven. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't mean shit. You ain't never gonna mean shit. And if you try to ever make yourself mean shit, everybody's gonna say, well, what about everybody else? What about everybody else? Everybody else already means shit. Did they do this to any other kid? No. So maybe when other kids that are massage therapists that don't resist arrest, that are, you know, vegetarians and, you know, nice, maybe when they start, you know, dropping like flies, then maybe everybody should get looked at. But unfortunately, you know, for the most part, just these kids get dropped. So that's what we're looking at. Sorry if that offends somebody. Stop dropping them then if it offends you. You know what I'm saying? That's how you solve that. That's how you solve that. It's not that hard. For the greatest nation in the world, we sure got a lot of dumb people that live in it. So this is an episode of 60 Minutes. And it says, excited delirium, controversial syndrome that can be used to protect police from misconduct charges. And this is what Joe Biden is facilitating by wanting to add psychiatrists to the police force. This is exactly what he wants to do. I'm saying, all right. Excited delirium was mentioned in the deaths of George Floyd and Elijah McClain, but some in the medical world are skeptical it's actually a condition. All right. This is a 13-minute video here. All right. 60 minutes. Here it says, buried in the charging documents in the George Floyd murder case is something called excited delirium. One of the junior officers mentioned it during Floyd's arrest. We had never heard of excited delirium, but discovered it's widely used by the police and paramedics to describe a life-threatening syndrome among suspects exhibiting wild behavior and extreme strength that is being used to justify injecting them with a powerful chemical restraint, ketamine. But in the medical world, we found deep skepticism over whether excited delirium is even a real condition, and concern about an over-reliance on ketamine and the use of excited delirium as a shield to protect police from charges of misconduct. And if you go back and look at Joe Biden's history, he's all about protecting police from charges of misconduct. He's all about that. He's about that. You know what I'm saying? He's all about that life. Just go back to the Police Bill of Rights that he tried to propose as a favor. He tried to propose that as a favor. You know what I'm saying? In the Rodney King case. Damn. These issues are at the heart of 5 federal, state, and city investigations sparked by the death of another black man named Elijah McClain. It wasn't a death, it was a murder. Like, he didn't just die. You know what I'm saying? He was killed. All right? So, yeah, I mean, this kid literally just tried to exert his rights. Police, but see, if he didn't look the way he did, this kid would be a patriot. But see, because he looks how he does, he's a dindu. You know what I'm saying? That's America. That's America. You know what I'm saying? This kid asserted his rights to the police officer. He said, I have a right to go where I'm going. The police said, stop. I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious. How is he being suspicious? Because he had on a ski mask in a cold ass state like Colorado? Has anybody ever been to Colorado? It's cold as fuck there. He wasn't wearing that ski mask for style. He was wearing it because it was freezing. You know what I'm saying? The 911 caller even said that he committed no crime and that, you know, nobody was and it said it, surveillance video showed him wearing a mask and that he was bowing to customers. And then when you go back and read his history, the dude was a yoga artist or a yoga practitioner. So, you know, and he was into the Eastern arts. So that's what people do when they're into Eastern arts. They bow. You see Bruce Lee do it all the time. When you watch a UFC fight, you see the Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioners do it all the time. But the caller, the Colorado caller, you know what I'm saying? They just felt that this motherfucker should die because he was bowing to people in the store. You know what I'm saying? It said that he hadn't done anything. He committed no crime. Somebody called 911 and this kid is dead and nobody's accountable for it. The kid said, I have a right to go where I'm going. And he did, as it says right here. He had committed no crime. It says it right here. This is from the police report. He had committed no crime, which means that since he had committed no crime, the police had no right to stop him. So you got to ask the police, what was it that was suspicious about him? It couldn't have been the ski mask because he was in cold ass Colorado. I've been to Colorado before. It's freezing out there. You know what I'm saying? Especially in some parts if you're high in the mountains. So what was it that was suspicious? Because he was bowing? Is there a sign on the door that says you're not allowed to bow and greet somebody? So what was it that he was doing that was suspicious? What did this kid say? He said, I have a right to go where I'm going. So because he was exerting his right and the government was trying to suppress him, that makes him a patriot, right? I never heard this dude referred to as a patriot, just saying. Have you? Have any of you guys? It's the hypocrisy in this country, man. So it's certain shit for certain people and certain shit for other people. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. And then when it's not kumbaya, everybody wants to get mad when certain shit gets pointed out. Well, it is what it is. If you don't like shit getting pointed out, then fix it. Anytime we try to fix some shit, motherfuckers say we're asking for a handout. You know, we're being sensitive. We're crying about some shit. But the shit that we're asking for is the shit that we're trying to fix that other motherfuckers complain about all the time. So which one is it? What do you want? I did a YouTube video today, and it was called, "What do you want from us? You want us all to catch COVID and die? Go back to Africa? Or what?" Because anything that we do to try to get any progress going, it's either got to be for everyone or we're asking for a handout. So what do you want? What do you want, America? Joe Biden ain't doing shit. So like now I'm just asking America straight up, what do you want? You don't get it both ways. What do you want? So you're going to see more and more cases of people getting killed and excited delirium being written on a coroner's report because Joe Biden tricked people into thinking he was going to fund the police, and he's not. He's going to get his son out of the federal investigation that's going on. He's going to get us into war, and he's going to get transgenders into women's bathrooms. And that right there is going to be the summary of the next 4 years. All while COVID is going on and out of control. All right. So I got some other videos I got to do. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I will catch you on the next video. Peace.